Hey everyone, my name is Rooster, and welcome back to Mechabellum. Today's video is going to be another tournament highlight. It is not going to be me playing, it is going to be Narayan on the blue side versus Easel on the red side. And well, this was a crazy one. I ended up catching the last part of it after I finished my own game, and I thought, well, this was so crazy, let's maybe just, highlight it because it's a good watch. So we've got Easel here with the Fortified Specialist and the arc lights and sledgehammers to start us off with, and Narayan with Elite Specialist, my favorite, with fangs and sledgehammers, which I would argue is one of the best packs that you can get for Elite. Starting with fangs is always nice, because fangs is like the one kind of chaff unit that you kind of really don't want to get at level 2, because it doesn't provide that much. And yeah, sledgehammers are just always nice to have. Good amount of hit points too, for both players, mind you, 5k on each side. We have Marksman pickup on the side of Easel because, I mean, you should be able to tank decently well with the sledgehammers. I would say that for Narayan, buying double Marksman here would make the most sense as well. Just having those level 2 Marksman is a big advantage. I think, no, they should be able to still one-shot, yeah, the sledgehammers at level 2. And maybe not the arc lights. I think those might be a little bit too tanky, but still, blue marksmen are insane against this. And yeah, we do see them. And well, Narayan should be favored here. Of course, he has the chaff, and well, the blue marksman should get through the sledges much faster than the easels. So we can probably speed this up a little bit, because this is going to be quite a long game. Spoilers. Tournament games can only go until the end of round 13. At which point the game will be cut off, and then whoever has the most hit points remaining, if both players are still alive, will win. Round number 2, we have laser sights, which is maybe worth a pickup. Kind of hard to make use of, though. And we see a skip out of Easel. Narayan does pick it up. I think like laser, it is a very good item, but it's kind of awkward to use on things like sledgehammers and marksmen. Because the marksman already has so much range that it doesn't necessarily benefit that much from it. And sledgehammers, I mean, you will rarely carry with them. But I guess picking up the item makes some sense, because on round 2 you don't have that much to do as Elite. You pretty much just buy 250 costs, and that's it. So picking up an item is not a bad thing. I guess the other thing he could have done is maybe skipped and gone for another sledgehammer and then maybe one crawler. That could have been fine. But going to opt to hold on to the laser sight for now. And Easel, yeah, we'll just go for triple chaff, which is the one thing he was lacking. And we see triple fang show up. Narayan definitely would need some more chaff cleared down the line. Going Stormcaller here would be nice on any other specialist, but it's kind of hard to do on Elite. So I understand that he doesn't, or he might not want to go for that. And the reason is that level 2 Stormcallers are just as easy to intercept as level 1s, so having to pay the extra price for them, which only incentivizes Easel more to go for intercept, could be a bit problematic. Let's see how the sledgehammers do, though. We do have some crawlers coming onto the sides, but they're running straight into those arc lights, which is not ideal. Marksmen, though, will find their lock-ons. Looks like the fangs have died for the most part. And I think Narayan should come out ahead, but it's very marginal. As I say that, oh, maybe not. 2 shots required for that fortified arc light. And actually, Easel will turn things. So very back and forth already at the very beginning of the game. Now we have round number 3, as we see extended range sledgehammer here. For both players, that could be worth picking up. Very good card in these long-range scenarios. You don't see it as much. I mean, a lot of people these days do like to play aggro, so you don't see standard all that much. But when you do, this card is certainly worth picking up. Easel going to offer the missile strike, but Narayan does pick it up. And that means that the sledgehammers are now going to have 125 base range, as opposed to the 95 on the regular sledges on the other side. And then we have double sledgehammer added blue sledges at that. And, well, I guess that's what the laser sight was for. Bumping that particular sledge up to 145, which means that it's going to have more range than a base marksman. Kind of crazy. Missile Strike, of course, did get nerfed a bit. Still a decent spell. And Easel going to opt to take out one of the level 2 crawlers with that. Surprised he didn't pick up the extended range sledge though. Just opting to still build more sledges, but not picking up the card. Maybe he was afraid though that Narayan would pick it too, which he did, and playing a mirror into Elite is tricky for sure, because it's hard to compete with those levels. And let's see, I mean, the thing is, if you go extended range sledgehammer, typically you will be able to use your sledgehammers as chaff gear. Especially once you get that mech rage and you buy more and more of them, it's really not that bad. And this can be tough to play into. Regular scorpions are often not going to be enough, and if you run EMP, which Narayan does have on the bar, then things like Scorch Vulcan don't tend to work either. You get outranged, you get EMP'd, and then it's lights out. Sledgehammer is still kind of getting stuck though. Takes a while to get through all of the units. Marksman level 2, able to tank a shot from that level 1 marksman. Will take out an arclet in the process. It looks like Easel might lose here. Does get a level 3 marksman potentially next round. And Sledgehammer is just about managing to win there. Another really drawn out and slow round. We'll have to see how this shapes up. I imagine the blue sledges win. They're a little bit squishier and, well, they don't have as much attack as the white ones. But they are level 2 and they do have that laser sight as well. Although I guess it just will be a draw as both sledgehammer packs here decide to go all the way to the outer edges of the board. And I mean, look at that, 4,600 on both sides as we enter round number 4. We do get unit drops, so maybe things will speed up a little bit here. And man, if you want deployments, you got him. Triple Phantom, triple Phoenix, triple Steel Ball, or 2 Wraith. That is quite something. Now, the awkward part here for Narayan is, while Phoenix would be very nice to pick up, it's going to be very tough to make sure that they don't just run in and die. Because normally, Phoenixes can stay behind Sledgehammers, but with the extended range card, that's not the case. And that's why usually you see these paired up with something like the Marksman. Because the Marksman have 140 base, so unless, you know, you have laser sight on the Sledgehammer, they should be able to stay behind with text like range enhancement. Narayan ends up going for it anyway though. I mean, it might be a good filler. I think I probably would have done the same, but we'll have to see if he decides to scale it. As I look at it though, he does run Elite Marksman, and that tech could allow the Phoenixes to kind of get bumped up just past that range of the Sledgehammers. Triple Phantom pickup here for Easel, kind of surprising. Would have expected maybe the Phoenixes, but perhaps he's a bit scared of the Marksman. And we see more Sledgehammers picked up, as well as some chaff for Narayan. I believe, yeah, double Blue Crawler and then 1 sledge all the way here on the left. Whereas Easel decides to go for Mech Rage on the Sledgehammers. Would like to see that as well for Narayan. Typically, you would go Mech Rage first if you play Extended Range Sledgehammer, and then you get range after. And looks like Easel just wants to sell out of his Phantoms. So already sold 1, keeps 2 for now. We'll have to see how it goes. But yeah, Phoenixes, 120 range, so they do get in front of the Sledgehammers. We'll have to see if that poses any problems. Bit of a slugfest for now. Looks like the Sledges have gotten in front of those Phoenixes, so Phoenix is able to take down the Phantoms, as I say that. One of them does get taken out. And looks good here for Narayan. The extra range paying off dividends, as well, of course, as those level advantages. And that's a bit of a bigger turn, sending Easel down to just below 4k entering round 5. Round number 5, Laser Sight shows up again. Heavy armor available as well. Ion Blast, very good spell, and if things keep going this way, then that might come back off cooldown at some point. Very, very low cooldown on it. And I mean, yeah, look at that. Easel lining the Ion Blast up with the Sledgehammers. We do get Mechanical Rage for Narayan. Has even got a level 3 Sledgehammer at this point. And it's just going to be more chaff picked up from the looks of things for Easel. Phoenix levels picked up as well. And we just see more chaff coming out for Narayan here. He didn't have that much money left after this play, so it makes a lot of sense. But we'll have to see how this Ion Blast performs. It looks like it's lined up pretty well, and oof. It's already 2 packs of level 2 sledges gone, and the third one's lined up. Can't get it much better than that. Even taking down like a Fang pack, I think, and the Crawler moving through, that is an insane value. Ion Blast right there. And yeah, maybe Narayan should have gone for it himself too. I guess he is safe though. I mean, he's sitting at 4.6, so he can allow himself to lose a round to a spell like this and kind of play the econ game. But with Ion Blast, it's hard to justify skipping it, I have to say. Like, that spell is so cheap, and the cooldown is ridiculously short for how much impact it can have. Round number 6. Rhino Assault, probably not gonna do too much there. Mass-produced Phoenix, definitely do want to pick that if you're Narayan. So probably just a skip, that makes sense. And here, I mean, okay, the weird thing is that Narayan has opted to start selling out of his marksman and keep the Phoenixes. A bit surprised about this because, again, it can be difficult to scale the Phoenixes. Now, he does have Elite Marksman, which most people don't have, so I guess he could get around the problem, but he'll need to get to that stage, right? We'll need to get to the point where he has range and then has some levels to be able to justify picking Elite Marksman. For now, he decides to take range on the Sledgehammers, and that means that the Phoenixes are definitely going to get in front. Like, now look at this, 165 meter range on all of those sledges. Not even going to mention the 185 on the laser sight sledges, and we've got 120 base on the Phoenixes. AA picked up here for Easel, and I mean, you've got to imagine that'll make matters worse. So the question is, can this Phoenix pack take down the Phantoms? Because I think the Sledgehammers can definitely win here. They're very far ahead in terms of techs and in terms of just, yeah, fighting long range. But if this Phantom Ray pack survives, then you can, you know, say goodbye to your anti-air, because that's all. And yeah, one Phoenix already down. Other one going to take out, needs one more Phantom. Oh, we'll just about get it before it falls. And well, you can see what I mean, right? Like, you've got your Phoenixes and they just get in front. So I think the best would have been for him to kind of keep his marksman. I mean, he had 2 level 3s, I believe. And try to scale those. Grab the range. It's all you need to take, and then you'll be safe for a bit. And then if you need damage in the long run, you might be able to also take the Elite, which he was running. Sledgehammers, though, seem to do fine. Do get a debuff on the right side, but I think he should be just fine. Can he get through this shield, though? Doesn't quite look like it, so Easel gonna be very happy with that. Both bubbles living and then regenerating back to full health. Round number 7, another unit drop. And again here, nothing too interesting. Probably just want to take and sell, maybe grab the Saber. Saber there worth 700, so you have to pay 100, which means 600 profit. I guess the steel balls would be the best. Those are worth 800. And you also have to pay 100 for that. Looks like Narayan decides to go for the Saber. Does sell it, so values the kind of instant 1 turn profit from that lone unit drop. Easel instead going to take the 2-round approach. Picks the steel balls, sells 1, and now we see the Mountain show up with a double tech efficient maintenance, that way the upkeep will be no more, and mountain plating, which will block a total of 700 damage per level whenever it's attacked. So Sledgehammer's here gonna lose about, I mean, a decent portion, right? Near 40% maybe, 35% or so of their attack. That's quite sizable. Yeah, definitely more towards the 40% mark as they deal 1600. So that's going to be tough to get through. Also, Mountain, Fortified spec, with 177,000 hit points. That's not going to be easy to get through. Phoenixes do have the temp range and the range tech right now, but they're still going to be sitting just behind those extended range sledgehammers. And with the AA on the marksman, that could prove to be an issue. Yeah, you can see here, marksman locking onto those phoenixes with the prioritized targeting. I will say though, Sledgehammer's not doing too poorly. That mountain is almost down and the right side is absolutely crushing. Narayan does lose a missile interceptor though. That's a little bit annoying. I'm guessing that he put that down to deal with the phantoms, but yeah, a little bit of wasted money perhaps. We'll get through it though, with a decent amount of sledgehammers left alive as well, so we'll have to see how much damage this is, but definitely around 1,000 or so. Yeah, going to send Easel down to 2.5, and now we enter round number 8 with the Lightning Storm showing up. Advanced targeting system as well, but I think if you're Narayan, oh, he does pick it. Not sure this is worth it, or rather I'd say it isn't. And the main reason I'm saying that is because he's already heavily outranging his opponent here. You're not really going to get much out of the range. Your opponent has to be the one pushing in either way, and I mean, with those mountains showing up and the text that he's clicked, definitely looks like he will be pushing in. Doesn't run that extended range ammo. Instead picks up a third tech with the gun-launched missile, which fires every 15 seconds. And yeah, I don't think he should have gone for the advanced targeting. He already was far ahead, and we see EMP on the Phoenixes. Don't mind that. I think EMP here does make sense, trying to turn off that mountain. That way it'll take way more damage from everything, as the mountain plating will be turned off. And of course, the gun-launched missile won't be able to fire repeatedly. But yeah, I think Narayan here definitely should have just not gone for this, and then kept some money aside to eventually get elite marksman, because that's where it's really going to be crucial, right? Realizing that the Phoenixes are getting kind of in front of the sledgehammers, and with the prioritized targeting on the marksman, they are getting taken out. EMP locks on immediately, and now we'll have to see how these sledgehammers can perform. Lots and lots of chaff kind of trickling through. Right side still seems to do well, but there is an okay amount of stall coming out of Easel. And yeah, with the AA on the marksman, Phoenixes are dropping like flies. One of the mountains has already gone down. The other one, though, seems to just be slightly too tanky. There's not enough damage coming out of Narayan's army to be able to take that down. Sledgehammer's trying to do what they can. Are locked onto the tower. Debuff should come shortly. Marksman, though, finds the target. And not convinced that this will be enough. That mountain looks like it doesn't have that much hit points, but still a significant amount of hit points. Gun-launched missile about to fire again. Going to take out 4 sledgehammers. And, well, it ends up going down, but only one sledgehammer left alive. That's not really going to hurt Narayan's opponent. Round number 9, more free units. We see Sandworm show up. Probably just a sell here, to be honest. I don't think I'd want to try and fight a mountain with a Sandworm. Shielded Fangs, purchased for Easel. Makes a lot of sense. Sledgehammer is not really the best at dealing with Shielded Fangs whatsoever, so that's a good tech to click. Other option would be something like Loose Formation, but Easel has way more fangs, so I like that pickup. And yeah, Ion Blast, back off cooldown on round 9. So we will need to see some bubbles from Narayan. Does opt to pick them. And now we see a peculiar tech, quantum reassembly for Narayan. I don't agree with this. I really think that should have been Elite Marksman because, I mean, the revive is nice, obviously, but you'd want to try and fix the situation first where your DPS is getting in front of what at the moment is some type of chaff clear, right, with those sledgehammers. You see EMP on the sledgehammers as well. Not a terrible pickup, but again, I think that if you already have EMP on your Phoenixes, that money should have been reinvested into the Elite Marksman button. I think that really could help. It'll amp your damage if you want to keep using the Phoenixes, and then again, it'll also keep the Phoenixes safe, so they don't need to respawn, because hopefully they shouldn't be dying in the first place. And yeah, I mean, Sledgehammers here doing the best they can, trying to get to those mountains, but just slightly too tanky. And yeah, the Phoenixes, I mean, they're reviving, but just not really managing to get through anything. And I mean, maybe at this point it's just time to start thinking about something different. Maybe Siege Mode Acid Scorpions could help out. I think that could be a decent pickup. Maybe just a Melter, to be honest, because these guys don't have that much range. Only 125. Did pick up Advanced Targeting as well, by the way. And round 10, another Lightning Storm. Neither player picked it up last time it showed up, but maybe it's worth picking this time. Yep, Ezel will go for it. And the use of this spell is just, I mean, it's very good, of course, against the Phoenixes, for one. And then two, it can help out getting rid of some of the chaff as well. And now we have Farseer Photon. So that will block that EMP. And so maybe that already kind of messes up the idea of going for Acid Scorpions. Instead, Narayan here going to go for Stormcallers with Incendiary Bomb. Pretty good move, considering that he does have to deal with those Shielded Fangs and didn't have a great response to it. But things are starting to get tricky. Stormcallers also could potentially add a little bit of extra damage that's required. Will we see shields though? Definitely do need to see some bubbles come out of Narayan here, otherwise that storm is going to hurt a lot, but okay, here we go. Triple bubble, trying to protect kind of the important units, making sure that the Stormcallers are well protected. Oil could be a nice pickup for Narayan if he wants to kind of extend that fire for a round. Might need to pick that up. Also, Defense Enhancement hasn't been picked up yet, so that could be purchased as well. And looks like it was just a tower level or something like that. Oil will land. Stormcaller should ignite that shortly. Left side though, whoa, Stormcaller's getting taken out swiftly as the barrier fell near instantly. Things are not looking too good on the left side. That tower is leveled, so at least it'll tank a little bit, and it'll only provide 7 seconds of debuff as opposed to 9, which is a bit of a saving grace, but can the right side prevail? Phoenix is still alive, so that'll allow some of the other ones to spawn in. Right side tower will get taken out. Wow, shot going right in between those two bubbles. I really thought they would get taken out, but no such thing. And it seems like by some miracle, Narayan has managed to hold on and find enough DPS. The marksman there, no range as of yet. Going to get taken out. Well, not before the mountain falls, but looks like level 2 wasn't enough, and the EMP does its trick. Of course, the photon from the Farseer isn't something that gets reapplied, so at some point it just runs out, and then, well, you're just as vulnerable as you were before to the EMP. Round number 11, mobilized battleship available. Don't think you can really do too much with it. Backlines are well protected. So maybe it's just a shield airdrop. At least that's better than a regular shield. Narayan deciding to skip. We do see the shield there for Ezel. I mean, look at the amount of bubbles on his side. Absolutely crazy. No oil available this round, though, for Narayan, and I do think that helped out quite a bit on the right side. We just see more fortresses picked up for Easel. Crazy, crazy stuff. Decides to go for the smoke bomb as well. We see range come out on the Stormcallers, trying to keep those safe. And yeah, I would still love to see Elite Marksman getting clicked, but it's an expensive 4th tech. Does have the money though, but needs to use his deployments first. And we're gonna see more Stormcallers. That does make sense. They did really well, and trying to make sure that you land as much fire as possible here is going to make a difference. We also don't see any interception as of yet from Easel. And we're just gonna go symmetrical here with those mountains. And let's see. Look at this ultra late sledgehammer there in the back from Narayan. Crazy stuff. Photon landing, although for some reason, I don't know what happened there, but it doesn't seem like this one got caught. Perhaps there's no Farseer near it. Right side, by the way, that is dropping pretty quick. Stormcaller damage doing an awful lot. I think sledgehammers as well, not doing too poorly DPSing. Left side, a little tricky. There is a bunch of smoke there. I'm not sure if it actually matters that much, though. Seems like the sledgehammers haven't moved at all. And I have to admit, I'm not the biggest fan of the smoke bomb tech. I think it is a little bit gimmicky. And opponents can just put, like, crawlers on the line and then you smoke yourself. And if you want to go for the long-range build, well, you'll already be the longest range unit in the game. So there is typically no need to add insult to injury. Or in this case, I guess, add smoke to the board. If you decide to go for the long-range comp. Again here, the marksman from Easel just not managing to survive. And that is awfully close. It's gonna go to round 12. 1 round away from the final round for a tournament. And yeah, I mean, still, there are like a couple of things here, right, that are missing. I really, really want to see Elite Marksman on those Phoenixes. And range on the Marksman would go a long way as well for Easel, because he kind of got scammed there. Oh, well. The Marksman just didn't have enough range, so it runs in and then dies to the Phoenixes. And, well, the Mountain can't shoot up. Does have that tech available, but I don't think you want to click it, because it reduces your attack by 50%. More levels picked up left, right, center. We have oil being used now by Easel with a very cheeky flank. That doesn't get shielded. It could be a big problem. Do you see barriers picked up? Looks like everything will get bubbled, so this shouldn't land. And yeah, you can see here crawlers all the way up front. This is what I meant with that smoke bomb tech. It'll just go to the closest thing. And then smoke will land in the middle, and considering Easel is the one walking forward, he'll be the one that'll experience the most harm out of that smoke, even though he's the one who created it. More Stormcallers. And yeah, sadly, no Elite Marksman on the Phoenixes. We do see the range, though, on those AA Marksmen. So maybe this time around they will stay safe. We'll have to see. A couple of missile interceptors coming out as well. I guess that's to help against the Farseer. Potentially you could intercept a gun-launched missile as well, although I'm not too sure a lone interceptor will be able to deal with that. Left tower, level 4, by the way. Does seem a little bit expensive. I don't think that the debuff left side was doing that much. Most of the units on the right side were far away. That didn't matter too much. But yeah, this time around, marksmen are staying quite safe. Able to take out some of these Phoenixes. Left side finally collapsing. But man, that mountain really doesn't seem to take much damage whatsoever. Still full health, level 2. Can the right side do anything. Other tower will get sniped. And yeah, this time around with the marksman staying back, you really see the big problem with sledgehammers when they have extended range. They just don't stay in front of those phoenixes well enough. And yeah, they just get picked apart, right? Shooting right past the sledgehammers, connecting instantly with the phoenixes. And while the sledgehammers are doing fine, they definitely did a lot of damage this game. You need something to get rid of these mountains. And yeah, the phoenixes just don't manage to get it done. So round number 12, it is going to be a victory for the mountains. And yeah, Narayan there not really managing to get it done. This is kind of the awkward bit, I guess, about extended range sledgehammers. You could have maybe tried to go Melter, but again, Melter would have had way less range than sledgehammers and started walking in front, maybe even into the smoke at some point. So I'm not convinced that that would have worked. I think Elite, though, on the Phoenixes could have done a lot of work. I would have picked that up before Quantum Reassembly even, definitely as a third tech. And while EMP Sledgehammer, I can see it. I don't think it's necessary, but I can definitely see it. AP Stormcaller maybe could have been worth considering too, to just help out slightly against the mountains. And then finally, I guess Siege Mode Acid Scorp could be something to think about. Photon was in play, but that'll run out eventually, and these rounds were so drawn out that honestly you probably would get a bunch of value out of it. And yeah, I mean, that is about it. Interesting tech bar setup there from Easel. Doesn't run the photon loop. It's an awkward one, the mountain. It really is. Sometimes it can just get away with things, though. It is extremely beefy, as you can see. So if your opponent like kind of gets flustered and doesn't buy enough DPS, you can just kind of steamroll. Although this was awfully close. I'm not sure what turned it there in the end. Mountain just suddenly becoming way too powerful. Defense Enhancement 2 was eventually clicked. So yeah, we're looking at 600,000 hit points. That is an awful lot on those level 2 mountains. Either way, if you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. Let me know down below what you think about, I mean, first of all, this type of commentary, right? Where it's not one of my own games. We're going over some Heimlimar games still, but tournament settings, just things I saw that were interesting. If you want to see me play live, please check me out on Twitch. And if you want to stay up to date with latest content, please consider subscribing. With that being said, take care, guys, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.